Hello, my name is Lex Waters, and in this project I'm aiming for the 96 to 100 range. This bot that I created is essentially will read an Excel file, create some variables based on that data, and we'll go through a loop and interpret the question, should I send an email? And the criteria that we're going to use is if the customer has made a purchase in the last 90 days. This Excel file works well for that because, as you can see in the bar here, it's a dynamic value. So each time that we open up this file, it's going to accurately show who has not purchased in the last 90 days. I've just created some fake names and email addresses, as you see, tests 2 through 10. And then the first one's going to send to mine, so that way you can see it in my inbox how it actually is going to come up. So I'll show you how the bot works, and we'll go from there. So in UIPath, we'll go ahead and step into the different parts of this. First, we're going to find out where the file is, as we did, and it's going to pop up down here. We'll put it in there, and then we're going to look into that data and convert it into a data table. So we'll look at it from an Excel point of view, and then we'll make it into a data table. Easy enough. Next, we're going to set up the variables and run the variables through the loop and ultimately send the email based on a if decision. So the first step that we have to do is the email that we'll be sending is from a template. It's a promotional type of email, so it needs to be uniform. So we're going to find where that is on our computer, which I have it in the same folder. And next we're going to read that and create an output variable called email template. And we're going to print it on the side to make sure it's right, and we're good. So next we're going to enter into the reading of the files and making more variables. We're going to start with the handy dandy row counter. And then we're going to get into the loop, which, as you can see, we're going to use a for each row with that data table that we created in the second sequence. And essentially what we're going to do for each row is we're going to read different elements, we're going to read different cells, and create variables based on the values therein. So the first one, we're going to get the date, and we're going to write all these on the side to make sure we're in the right place. And then we're going to do days since last purchased, print that on the side, first name, email, and we're good to go. So now we're going to enter into the if part. And as you can see, we have a simple expression here. If the variable that we created up here, days since purchase, if that's greater than 90 days, we're going to go ahead and send them an email. Else, nothing. And then, like normal, we're going to tack on one to the counter. The cool thing about this bot and the additional activity that I've implemented here is the send Outlook mail message. This is kind of cool because we store the customer's email in a variable and we convert it to a string and send it to them. Something that took me an embarrassingly long time to figure out was how to get the subject to be similar to the marketing emails that we all get in real life, where it says your name, comma, read inside for great offers or something like that. So ours is going to say first name, a gift for you, and then the body of the email is also a template. So everything in this is all dynamic. It's all variable based, or in this case, we're running it through the loop, and each time it's going to change. And last, this is all inside of a try-catch. I decided to put the try-catch here because in testing, I was getting lots of errors by trying to implement so many variables and no hard-coded values. Outlook and UIPath only want email addresses in a certain format. Therefore, if it's not correct, it's going to flag you and stop the whole process. So I intentionally set up one of them to flag it, and it's not the first one. And we'll see that a little bit later, but we'll step through this, and the first one was greater than 90 days, and it's going to send the email. And as we recall, that first one's going to get sent to me at my email. We should be getting the notification soon. And then it starts all over, and it's going to run through each of the rows until they're all done. So now what I'll do is I'll run through the whole bot, because there are 10 values and that would take quite a long time to step through them all. So what we'll do is we'll hit run and we'll see the outputs in Excel. Excuse me, we'll see the outputs in Outlook. Okay, let's see what happened. We're seeing some Outlook messages. Kevin, a gift for you to my email address. Let's see what actually went down. So the first one, as we saw, Kevin, gift for you, and on promotional email. And the other ones, obviously, they were all test and made up emails, so they weren't found. And yeah, I started on mine, then I ran it and it redid mine, so I got 2 to me. And so that's good. So it came to test 3, test 6, test 7, and test 10. So let's make sure those were the right ones. Let's see, 3, 6, 7, and 10. And then 2 didn't send, but it said it should have. So we'll check out why. And then the output pane, we see exactly that. The output pane showed all the variables that we created and their respective values. We'll scroll, there we go. And then up here, we see an error message. We see that there was an invalid input and that Outlook wouldn't recognize one of them. And we just see here, it's test2@aol.com. There's no dot, therefore it threw a flag. This was important to do because this customer never got his or her promotional email. But it was also important that the try catch was here and we only sent a log message instead of stopping the process. Because imagine if there were thousands of customers who wanted these emails and we wanted them to have these emails, and it stopped the whole process because the second one was missing a small dot here. So having the try catch around that activity was essential to this bot, because it made sure that A, we could see who didn't get it based on these invalid inputs, and B, it didn't stop the process so that everyone else could go ahead and get their email and get to shopping. So that's my bot. Hope you enjoyed it.